okay. I think the list is the main thing for us. Just having a good idea of what are the priorities and from their side, and that they're not going to have any problem getting the stuff in, and there's going to be duty-free, tax-free, and all that sort of good stuff.
Okay. Okay, I'm writing all this down. Now, the politician today, he took the email that you've sent, and he's going to get a wish list of the pharmaceutical kind of things. And I can ask the leadership committee there to kind of put together a wish list of the other items. What quantities do you think we're talking about?
Well, that's going to depend on what their needs are. As we put out a request, we can fill, C container after C container. I mean, it could be endless, just depending on their needs and what it is they're requesting, and the donations that come in. Because once we release this to the public, it's amazing how product comes from the corners of the U.S. People just want to participate. So we just need to know what it is they're looking for, so we know where to tap in. The pharmaceuticals, of course, will ship separately. Those will be air shipments, and so that they don't hold up anything else, because sometimes they have different customs regulations for those that will tend to mess up the rest of the cargo.
Okay.
When I say mess up, I mean hold up.
Sure, right. I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll also need to know dating issues, what kind of restrictions they have, and what kind of dating they want. Usually in a disaster, they want stuff with 3 or 4 months dating on it when it gets there, so that because they're distributing it so quickly, it's not usually an issue. Pharmaceuticals, they normally want longer, sometimes up to a year. We just need to know what their requirements are, so that that nobody's disappointed.
Yeah. Do you guys happen to have a checklist of items that's most helpful for you that I could pass on to them?
I think up on our website we have a bunch of items we're requesting that are usually disaster items.
Okay.
So you can look on our site.
I'll send it to him.
Sean will send it to you. He'll email it to you.
Okay, that'll be great. I'll look forward to that. That'll be fantastic. And then I'll look it over, so I'm very familiar with it. And then I'll pass it on my call again tonight.
Right. The list he's going to send you is going to have mostly disaster items. As you know, our facility is mostly a medical facility, so we have an abundance of disaster supplies, but the major thing that we focus on usually is medical supplies and medical equipment. Now, I'm sure that equipment isn't going to be a need, but there may be a need for supplies.
I sent him that list.
Oh, you already got that?
Yeah, you have that supply list of medical supplies, right, Dave?
Yes, that came in an email, and he's already kind of quote unquote shopping with the medical supplies.
Great.
But if you can send me a list of relief supplies that would be somewhat the same, that would be fantastic.
Right, and I don't know if you can connect up with the church, because a lot of times I know when we were doing stuff for Katrina, they were able to really be a help in supporting putting those piece boxes together and things like that. When they get a list of what's needed, they can just go out and, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. That's cool. Cool.
Do you think Saddleback would do something like that?
It's possible, but if what we're doing right now is quote unquote Saddleback.
I understand that, but what I'm talking about is you guys did that program where you put together all those boxes and we shipped them to Katrina. I'm wondering if you're open to do something like that again.
Well, I'm sure we are open to do something like that again. Let me make a note of that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That was
Manpower,
what?
We would be packing boxes here, correct?
Right. What happened last time is I think you guys actually gave out the boxes, or you just brought the product in, packed it all at Saddleback. We came and got the boxes and shipped them out.
Okay.
So it was like pretty much, it was awesome because it was turnkey. The people in the church just really got behind it and collected all the items on the list, and you made boxes out of it.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay, and you guys actually dropped off the contents of those boxes too, right?
No.
So you dropped off boxes?
I actually think you did the whole thing. The way it worked, the way the Katrina thing worked is that you guys had boxes printed. We have boxes we can drop off, but you guys had boxes that said peace on them,
Okay.
and you guys filled the boxes. The people in the church collected the items,
Okay.
filled the boxes, and we came and picked the boxes up and just got them delivered to. We did all the logistics with moving them, containerizing them, and getting them shipped
okay,
out.
I got it. That's fantastic. Okay, that makes it really clear.
Yeah, because it got the church really involved. People really like to be able to go out and get product and feel like they're able to do something that makes a difference. And we had groups come here. We've had groups come here and pack stuff before too, because a lot of times we'll get stuff just delivered here, or we'll get container loads of stuff, and we need people to pack. So it worked both ways.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah.
I sent you that list, Dave, so it should be in your email.
Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, so if I'm hearing this right, the first priority is getting a list from Japan. It's going to be one of the lists will be hospital items heavy, and the other list will be relief items heavy. The hospital items will come via air, and the other list will probably come via ocean. Do you think so?
Right. Actually the hospital items break down because into two categories. The one is pharmaceuticals, which will come by air. The other is medical supplies, which will go by sea, or both.
Okay, got you.
So they can go both. It depends on what kind of air shipment we've got coming, and how quickly we want to get stuff there. Sometimes like when we did Haiti, we were Virgin America gave us a cargo room, and we just started shipping cargo, and I think we got 53,000 pounds over there within 3 days, right after the disaster, and that was awesome. So we can start rolling with those kinds of planes with smaller shipments that way, and then it depends on what's available and who we have going over, what kind of.
Because now the other thing that we have to determine on the other side is how much can they move as quickly as possible. Is that correct?
Right, and warehousing space. And it would be nice to get donated warehousing space, especially if the government's helping with this, because that's going to be we're going to be sending cargo, and they're going to have to warehouse it, because you're not going to be able to move it all at once. I mean, it could be that we've got 10 or 15 containers on the water at one time.
Yeah.
So they're going to need to be able to pull that in, warehouse it, and then get it out at their time frame.
Okay, good. Okay, so warehousing space and trucking.
Right.
I don't know if you've heard, but they are out of gas for the next 2.5 weeks.
I wouldn't doubt it. They're going to need a lot of help.
Oh my gosh, you're not kidding. I mean, they the most gas you can buy is 5 gallons, 10 liters, and it's being rationed very carefully. But at this point, people are just staying at home because they're within probably a day of being at zero on the petroleum.
Well, hopefully the military steps in, and some of the government agencies, and gets them some fuel. I know if we're moving disaster relief supplies, usually the international community has a resource there. There should be a resource even with the government to have fuel for I know we can't waste fuel, but I'm saying if they do a convoy of trucks, they usually have fuel for that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, this makes it a little more clear. Sean, I'll probably need to stay in touch with you very, very carefully so that we can make sure that all of this stuff is getting moved and all that.
Absolutely.
I know that the government officials behind it, he actually is at the hospital today trying to put together a list. He said that they were nearly out of everything you could think of. So we should get a response very, very quickly.
You know, it's amazing because you think of Japan as being a first world nation and not having that problem. But I know when disasters like this they hit. It's amazing the stress. You just don't have the resources on hand to manage this kind of thing, and there's just no supply. And it's just I know how quickly you can run out of just about everything, and you have to be quick to get product to them. So we'd like to get something rolling here, probably before, at least by the end of the week. So by Friday, we'd like to have something out of here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Okay.
keep in mind, Dave, the medical supplies, I mean, the majority of those we have here in our warehouse now. I mean, once you give specifics, what it is they need, and then what the dating issues are, most of that we could pull within hours of what, you give us a list, and we'll be able to, we'll start working on it ASAP.
Okay. And the thing that I want from them is, from this government guy, I just want him to be able to realize the quantities of stuff that are coming in. We'll need a warehouse and we'll need trucking, and I need to pin that down too. So I'm gonna I'll send that off right away. In fact, I'll try to call right away.
Yeah, and you need to understand, Dave, that it's not just our resources that we're talking about, because we're one of a whole network of Christian nonprofits that work together. So once you give me a list, I go out to probably 5 to 10 other nonprofits that are as big or bigger than we are, and I mean we're talking about a lot of product.
Yeah. Okay.
They're just waiting. They're all just waiting.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
Okay, I'm writing all that down. Brothers, I've got it, and we had a pretty good first night jump forward by getting that politician, and now this ups the ante by about tenfold, and we need to hear some really positive things from him in terms of being willing to help us take responsibility for this. But we'll get it out there, so we're moving on it right now.
That sounds great, Dave. We'll keep it up here in our prayers, and if you guys could pray for us that we can, that the things that you need and will be needed in Japan, that they as they normally do, show up.
Yeah, well, right on.
And Dave, too, you have my cell phone number and my email, and then we're in disaster mode over here. So I mean, that means I'm available 24/7. I realize we're on totally different time zones in Japan.
Yeah,
so
right.
whatever's convenient on their end, whenever you have information, pass it on. And I mean, we're ready to move anytime here. So you don't need to feel like you need to wait until a certain hour or something. When you got some hot information, pass it on so we can get moving on it. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, brother. All right, you got it. I understand that now, and we'll move it in that direction.
All righty.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, guys.
God bless.